So this little flower is Indian tobacco, Lobelia inflata. Inflata because as the flowers get pollinated, the little seed capsule, I think they call it calyx, starts to inflating up with these little pods below. Um, it is a lobelia, although for a while they moved it into the bellflower family and so forth. Indian tobacco is an annual. It can grow 30 inches tall, but more typically it's like this, very small, slightly weedy, ends up growing usually where there's just a bit of shade and so forth. It's a very neat little plant. Has some folklore and historical value behind it. Although again, it's on a it's very common, but not a very showy plant like a lot of the other lobelias, like cardinal flower and great blue lobelia. And again, the other ones are short-lived perennials, whereas in this one is an annual, 1 year and it's gone. Usual pollinators of these tiny little, either light blue, whitish, light shades of color, are usually small bees. The name Indian tobacco points at some of its different uses historically, especially by the different Native American tribes. Having said that, lots of things don't feed on it because it's so acrid and it does have some toxins in it. So even though, yes, it was smoked oftentimes medicinally or ceremoniously by different tribes, definitely not something you want to try to do. As an aside, and to kind of remind you of that, another name of this particular plant is pukeweed, because you smoke it at your own risk or eat it at your own risk, because it will cause you to a lot of times get nauseous and throw up. But it was smoked. It's said to be a purgative, make you throw up. It was, in fact, look, there is an actual little bee actually pollinating it. Look at that right there. I don't know if you guys can make that out, but he's actually inside the flower right now. They have to dig their way in order to be able to get any of the nectar. So this guy's working hard and can't even tell that I'm right next to him. But again, there you go. You got this little bee, and you get the idea now that there does have some pollinators and stuff associated with it. But again, back to its uses. So it was said to clear your system. It was said to be medicinal. The Cherokee burned the leaves and stuff like that to keep gnats and mosquitoes away. But overall, it's not a very showy plant. It isn't usually cultivated because it's an annual and short-lived anyways, but has been used medicinally to clear your system and ceremoniously as a tobacco substitute. Indian tobacco, Lobelia inflata because of these little inflated seed cases after the thing gets pollinated. Short-lived with an annual, but again, a short little plant, usually of weedy areas growing along the edges, not as popular or showy as its cousins, the cardinal flower and great blue lobelia. But all in all, an important native wildflower. Indian tobacco, Lobelia inflata.